I wanted to show you guys YouTube, and let me turn off the radio, the progress on the motorized 3-wheel bike. My friend Fast Suzuki came over today, looked at the new lawnmower, but brought me some ever so crucial metal. Tons of it. I've used most of the good stuff. Some of it was bent, some of it is steel, and the steel's pretty hard for me to drill through considering I only have a hand drill and a couple metal bolts. I don't even have a set of metal bolts. Yeah, but so I know this is low light. I can't do anything because it's dark outside. So here's the motor. You've probably seen it from the other. It's the Weed Eater Power Edger, 22cc. I know that's a little engine for a big heavy bike, but I have a pretty decent gear ratio. And yeah, I wish it sounded like that if you could hear that. Anyway, so I'll start by saying it has not affected my pedal system at all. I can still pedal like normal. So that's good. Then on my free spinning wheel, I'll start from the crucial side. Here's the important side. And we still have to, we haven't drilled the holes. There's a hole here in the frame and one like right here. We still haven't drilled those because we want to get great, really strong bits, or no, not bits, screws, bolts. So they're the right size because this is the really crucial piece. It has a whole lot of force on it. So right now there's vice grips. Then that goes to the motor. And on the motor, where the wheel used to mount, you can't see. I'll do another video later once I get some more done and you'll be able to see. There's a nut there, just where the wheel used to be. See, a wheel. This was a wheel, that was a wheel, and they had one here. That's the big one that backs up in there. And then there was a little teeny hole where you could adjust the height. And I used it right there and right there to secure it. So this side was on good. But then that I probably could have stopped there. So what I did then is I took this flat piece of this was steel, and this was thin, so I was able to use it. But it's pretty strong. I mean, that's a 1/4 inch. So it was bent into an L, and I have a screw here. I mean, a bolt here, bolt here. It's bolted to that as tight as I could get it, and then the engine kind of sits on that, but it was already suspended by this. It didn't need to sit, but that also gives it some additional support. That came over to this. Okay. So then, as I stand up, I've been at this all day. It's like 8, and I started at lunch. So, hold it. The light just cut off in the garage, and now you can't see absolutely anything. That didn't help any. All right. Maybe a little more light. Yeah, that's better. Alright, so then you can see the light from my camera. That piece of steel, and I haven't bolted this either, and I'll explain why. I have this. Hold it, where is this? This is all from a door company, is where this metal. I'm not going to say what, but they make doors. And so that's a lot of this metal was the same exact shape. I know I have another one. I've only used 2. Had 3. Alright. That was these. And they're 1/2 inch aluminum plates that had this hole pattern drilled in it. And I have had to drill 2 more holes, one here and one here. Then he gave me 2 of these little, they're in the shape of girders, you know, a U. And one, I drilled a hole here and a hole here. And then this one was slightly bent, which worked to my advantage, because the frame is at an angle, and the motor, this part wasn't. So then what it did is it bent up, and I just drilled my 2 holes in the 1/4 inch. Can you see those holes? Yeah, now you can. There. And once I get the angles exactly how I want them, I'll drill a hole in the aluminum and bolt them in. But I need to get the exact angles, and I'll explain why. Then this piece, which is not bolted down yet, I just have a screw holding it. You know, it's just sitting there. You've all done that before, just stuck something in the hole. I got to cut it here at this blue line. because I need this in later. I don't know for what, but I'll probably need it. So I'm going to cut this, and then what it has is it has a 2 more holes drilled in the 1/2-inch block as I drop every single nut and bolt. Hold it. I just got a low battery message, sorry. This is an iPod Touch, so it stops you and makes you look. Alright, 1 more. Alright, anyway, so that's going to be bolted real tight. And then I have these wheel holes. You can see that's not even completely tightened down yet, and that's already on there pretty good. It's not going to move, I don't think. But I thought if there's any torque on this side, I wanted to have it mounted good too. So what I have is I have this 1/2-inch steel, oh, it's so hard, plate thing, rod, and I'm going to have to get this drilled through. It's going to take me hours. And I'll drill a hole here, right there to go with that hole, and put it like that. And I'll probably have to cut this, or maybe I won't. And anyway, it'll be sitting flat, and then I have that much of a, can you see that? If I get out of the way? Yeah, I'll have that much of a gap. So I'm either just going to, because this is not entirely that crucial, just bend it over like this and be lazy, you know, move it over so it's not perfectly straight and bolt there. Or I'll put in the 1/2-inch aluminum thing as a shim and then drill through that. That's probably the smarter option, but the lazy option is this, so I'm probably end up going to do that. This hole over here is simply, you know, it's the same exact as this. I'm just going to drill another hole and another one that's like this. I have a big long one that I can cut things off of. But I'm just going to have it like this, and then it's going to go to my frame because this, it fits perfectly flat right here where the frame bows a bit because of how they made the bike. So I don't know if I can't weld this, but I'll probably end up cutting a slit in that, or drilling a couple big holes and putting a hose clamp, a really tight hose clamp around there. And then that will just give me an additional, or I might just leave that hole blank altogether. I mean, it depends. I'm banging this, it isn't moving at all. And I only have 2 screws in there, and I mean, it's in there, so. Anyway, I better go to the chain before I run out of time. I'm at 7 minutes. The engine still doesn't run great, but it runs. It's been giving me a time. And by the way, this pole that is as tall as me, and I'm like over 5, well, not quite as tall as me. I'm right at 5 something, so yeah. It's obviously not mounted perfectly parallel. I gotta bend it over. Like I said, a lot of fine tuning, but I have the chain, and all this is my little teeny sprocket. You can't see that because of the no light, but I have a sprocket that's that big, going to a 62 tooth larger sprocket that I got the same company welded for me. It's huge and I love it. So what happened here is on the inside of this wheel, that plate was welded to the wheel. The hole cut in and welded to it flat, so I could still stick this through, and then bolt, 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 bolt. And I put on that was a large road bike, I believe, sprocket, 62 tooth. So anyway, that's a pretty decent gear ratio. I'm trying to get where the light, you could see that, but I don't have a flashlight or anything. Anyway, so this is the part that's giving me a problem, but when I turn it, it makes a pretty bad clicking noise, so there's somewhere in the chain that ain't right, and this does have a clutch, by the way. Just a centrifugal clutch, so that's nice. The gas tank is going to be interesting to fill because I didn't have a lot of gas in there, and it's already up to the max, but the feed lines are right here at the bottom, so that's going to work to my advantage. I might have to seal this hole off and make another cap somehow up here so I could fill the thing. Or I could, once the bike, it's usually even at a more of an angle because these short wheels and the big front wheel, but I have it on jacks. So, yeah, but I'm out of time. That's about all the progress, and I managed to break my second seat post. I'm fat, guys. I mean, look at that. That's steel. Again. I should probably have less than a 1/4 inch in there, but come on, it broke again. But, yeah. Weed Eater tricycle update.